Alright, let's dive into something that's got the gaming community buzzing. Avatar Legends. The fighting game just dropped its first post-launch update, and there's a ton to unpack here. But before we get into the nitty-gritty, let me hit you with this. Why does a game based on a beloved animated series feel like it's both meeting and missing expectations all at once? Stick around, because this is where it gets interesting. So, the game launched on the Switch last week, and already, the devs are rolling out updates like they're on a mission. Personally, I think this is a double-edged sword. On one hand, it's great to see them addressing issues and adding content so quickly: ranked mode, lobbies, spectator mode, even a beginner zone. These are features that, honestly, should have been there at launch. But here's the thing, when you rush a game out the door, even a franchise as strong as Avatar can't save it from feeling incomplete. What many people don't realize is that post-launch updates can either be a savior or a band-aid, depending on how you look at it. Now, let's talk about the character updates. Ozai, Aang, and Nightmare Korra are getting new sprites and animations. Cool, right? But here's where I have to pause and reflect. Why are we just now getting these details? In my opinion, character polish should be a day-one priority, especially for a fighting game. These characters are iconic, they deserve to shine from the start. It's like serving a half-baked cake and then adding the frosting later. Sure, it's better, but the first impression is already made. And then there's Tagga, the free character coming later this year. Honestly, I'm split on this. On one hand, free DLC is always a win. On the other, it feels like the devs are playing catch-up. If you take a step back and think about it, adding characters post-launch can either feel like a gift or a distraction from what's missing. What this really suggests is that the game might have been rushed to meet a deadline, and now they're filling in the gaps. The Switch patch is on the way, which is good news for Nintendo fans, but it also raises a deeper question: why wasn't the Switch version fully optimized at launch? The PS5 version got praise for its combat, but even that review pointed out the missing features. From my perspective, this isn't just about the Switch, it's about the game's overall readiness. Launching a game across platforms with varying levels of polish feels like a missed opportunity to create a unified experience. A detail I find fascinating is the Samurai Appa skin. It's a small addition, but it shows the devs understand the fandom. Appa is a fan favorite, and giving him a cool skin is a smart move. But here's the kicker: it's part of a patch, not a launch feature. What makes this really interesting is how these small touches could have been part of a bigger, more complete package from day one. It's like they're sprinkling sugar on something that needed more time in the oven. If you ask me, the real story here isn't just the updates, it's the conversation around what a game launch should look like in 2023. Are we okay with games feeling unfinished at release, knowing patches will fix them later? Personally, I think there's a balance to strike. Updates are great, but they shouldn't be a crutch for incomplete design. What this really suggests is that the industry's approach to launches might need a rethink. So, here's my closing thought: Avatar Legends, the fighting game, has the potential to be something special, but it's being held back by its own launch strategy. The updates are a step in the right direction, but they're also a reminder of what could have been. If you played it, let me know. Are the updates enough to keep you hooked, or does it feel like too little, too late? And if you haven't, is this a game you're willing to wait and see on? Let's chat in the comments, I'm curious to hear your take.